quite simply, I found it extremely difficult, if I'm honest. I've spent 30 years keeping work at work and home at home, to all of a sudden start working from home proved to be extremely difficult indeed. I ended up on a few occasions coming to the office myself. It's a 10-minute drive from home, and working here, and the moment I step through the door, I feel like I'm at work. Ideas happen, things come to mind, and it just takes me into work mode. Whereas at home, I really do struggle. Yes, I can make calls and I can speak to people, and I have done. I have been speaking to contacts and colleagues and clients on the phone, and I can do that. Actually had my first video group team conference call from home, which was fine, and actually enjoyed it. But working from home, I have to be honest, I found extremely difficult indeed. I've got a great team. So I was actually ill the week before lockdown happened. While I was away, the guys set everything up. So we work remotely. We all work remotely. We've got voice over IP, and it's been interesting. So yeah, great team. I've been really proud of the way they've pulled together on this, especially without me there. Being on the cloud, we went to the cloud 4 years ago, and until this point, I didn't realise how good it was. But it meant we could seamlessly work from home, the same as voice over IP. I've heard the terminology, not really sure what it was. We got our phones in the office as we always have done, but the ability to unplug my phone from the office, take it at home, and then everybody do the same from the office, and we have our phone system working at home was revolutionary for me. I'm sure most people think it hilarious, but I didn't realise our phone system did it, so that's been really interesting. And relationships matter. That's the most important thing. That's what we always say. So it's been great that clients have been calling me and asking for my opinion on how they think the workplace is going to change, what they can do to implement and get people back working as soon as possible once the lockdown's lifted. So and I valued that, and that was really important to me. So I've enjoyed that a lot. I think I'm old school, so the challenges I found with the lockdown and working from home is that I don't get to see the people. I like mixing with people. I enjoy the team here at Rainbow. We have great banter, we have a great laugh, because it's important that we enjoy what we're doing and everyone enjoys working here. And we do, and we have great fun, and I've missed that a lot, a massive amount. The same meeting clients, I'm struggling with it, with not being able to do that. I enjoy that a lot, and the conversations we have and the ideas and thoughts that they generate have been great to me over the years. So I'm really struggling with that. And of course, having the information immediately to hand, whilst we're on the cloud, things like price lists and finishes, that they're not always available to everybody. We have a great list of price lists, or a great collection of price lists that are online, but there's something about some manufacturers we only have on paper, and that's been a bit challenging. But other than that, not much more. It's been a fascinating insight as to what we can and can't do the last few weeks. It's interesting because I've found it really strange. The idea of entering a room where there's lots of people, or a restaurant, an office, a meeting room, where people are close by, just seems so distant at the moment. Shaking hands with someone, let alone hugging them, someone you've not seen for a long time, that just seems so far away. Yet the lockdown's only been 2 months. It's incredible, and we've been shaking hands and hugging and kissing people for as long as I can remember. It's going to be strange. I don't know how that will, how long that will take to wear off, or whether it ever will. The revelation, I think, for most people, especially people my age, the youngsters are aware of it, is video conferencing and contacting people online and over the phone visually. I've never had so many video conference calls ever, and I think that will continue. And people working from home, I think it will continue. There are a lot of positives from that, especially for meeting people long distance. I've known about it. Video conferencing is not new, but it's not something we implemented on a regular basis, and I think ourselves we will be, and I'm sure companies will be as well. So video conferencing, I think, is going to be the biggest change to companies going forward. There'll be a hell of a lot more of it, and working from home. I think there's going to be an immediate effect and then a long-term effect on the workplace. The immediate effect we're speaking to clients about at the moment, which is how we can introduce social distancing in the workplace, so for when people return to work. We're looking at lots of different suggestions. The most popular one at the moment, obviously, is which everybody's asking about, the screens on the desks, so like a shield as you get at the cashiers, so putting those onto workstations. We have quite a few options, but what we're trying to find is the most environmentally friendly option, because we anticipate these not being a permanent product in the workplace. They're going to be short term to get us over the social distancing immediately, and then they'll probably be removed. So we want a product that you can recycle. I think that's really important to us, and I think it should be important to anyone purchasing these. So we've got that, and I think the simplest solution that seems to be, simplest solution is often the best, and the simplest solution that seems to be coming about from most people is reducing the amount of people within the workplace. Not by getting rid of them, but by keeping people working at home, so perhaps a large percentage, say 60% at home or 2/3 at home, a third of the workforce then back into the office, and because you've only got a third of people in the workplace, you are immediately going to have social distancing. There'll be less people on the workstations, less people in the meeting rooms, less people in the breakout spaces, less people in the kitchens, and I think that will probably be what most companies do initially, because homework seems to be working for most companies. And then the after effects, the long-term effects on the workplace. And I'm going to combine that with question 6, which is what positive outcomes will come as a result of these changes. I'm actually quite excited about the workplace. I think it will be. I think there'll be very positive things coming out of this, because people, I don't believe they realise how much they enjoy going to work, how much they enjoy the banter, meeting their colleagues, getting out from home, bouncing ideas off people, collaboration, serendipitous meetings. I think all these things are really important, and now I believe that people will appreciate them a lot more because they can't have them at the moment. Yes, people will continue to work from home, that's what I believe. And it might not be, or probably won't be full-time, but it will be a day or 2 days a week. And if everybody has a day at home, that's a 20% reduction in people within the workplace going forward permanently. 2 days is a 40% reduction, and then you're creating a lot of space in the building, which you can then introduce nicer areas and make it a nicer place to work. So you can have make the kitchen areas bigger, you can have more collaboration spaces, you can have more quiet spaces, all the things that are needed for people to do their jobs that maybe companies don't have at the moment. And I think they can take this as an opportunity to create these spaces, because when you do have them, staff really appreciate them, and you get a lot of benefit and a lot more productivity from your staff. And of course you're going to need more space for taking video calls, because there's going to be a lot more video conferencing going on, because people will be used to it, speaking to their colleagues at home, speaking to clients at home. I think that's going to be a significant change in the workplace. I think also, I mean, I've never seen so many runners and joggers out since since the lockdown, because it's your excuse to get out of the house, and I think this is vital. Well-being is really important to people now, and it'd be great if that continues. So if companies can offer facilities for staff to exercise their bodies, but also their minds. Minds is really important. Mental health is such a serious issue. It's come to the forefront over the last few years massively from 5 years ago to what it is now, and it would be great if companies invest in their people, in their well-being, both physically and mentally, and then these spaces can be accommodated in the workplace by the decrease in amount of people on workstations. So I think the changes will be really positive. I think they'll be really good. I think the offices will be much nicer places to work. I'm hoping that the care and that people are showing their neighbours, and consideration that they're showing their neighbours at home and their colleagues at work, and just generally people are not a lot nicer at the moment. It'd be great if this continued, and if the workspace allowed this to happen. I think it could be really, really good, a really positive step. And if that's the legacy from the COVID-19 lockdown, I think it'd be brilliant. Final question, how quickly do we see the changes happening? Well, there's going to be immediate changes in the workplace to allow for social distancing. That's inevitable, unless companies are not going to bring their staff back into the office. So companies are going to have to make allowances for social distancing. I think, as I said earlier, the simplest solution, reduce the amount of people within the workplace, but certainly removing chairs from benches or workstations. A bench of 6 becomes a bench of 4, reducing the amount of chairs in a meeting room so that you've got them bigger desks, actually, and that's something I should have mentioned earlier. Bigger desks might be coming back in fashion. They've got smaller as technology's decreased in size, and I think that we are having conversations about the workstations getting bigger to then, which will create the social distancing. So that may happen, which will take time. So the immediate changes will happen straight away. They have to, for social distancing, putting the shields in, removing furniture to create more space, maybe making corridors a bit larger. But the other changes that I spoke about, the positive ones ongoing, I think they'll take place slowly over the next few months, and certainly once a vaccine is found and everyone feels comfortable that they're going to be okay, and they might all start returning to the office, then that's what will happen. So I'd say 6 to 12 months. That's my thought.